Welcome to MetalVice in 666. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, joined with the other host,
Karen.
And this is a topic that you actually came up with that you
Yes.
wanted to talk about for this episode of 666.
Yes.
Why don't you describe what the topic is, and we'll start the timer and dive right in.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about bands playing songs that are not their most popular at concerts.
Yeah, so let's start the timer and get on into that. All right, so when you say not playing their most popular songs, what do you mean by that?
So one day I was listening to Spotify, and I was going through, I don't even remember what band I was listening to, but I was like, oh, I've never heard this song at a concert. I was like, I really enjoy it, but it didn't have that many listens or whatever you call it on Spotify. So I was like, oh, it must not be a very popular song. And bands generally play like more popular songs or like a song off of their new album or, you know, something like that at their shows. So I was like, it would be really cool if bands made set lists based on their most not popular songs. I don't know how to say that, but
Yeah, it's an interesting thought for sure, because I mean, we've talked about this too in the past. When a new album comes out and the band tours with that new album, you know, a lot of the track, like you only have so many tracks that you can play at a live show. If you're a headliner, it's like 16 or so. An opener, like maybe 8. You get 40 minutes or something. Like you have to fit how many songs that is in your catalog, right? Because some songs are 8 minutes for some bands, but other bands is like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, right? So you kind of know where you're going to be, and you know you want to promote the new stuff.
yeah.
And not only that, but you also have your popular stuff that you have to promote. Every single Disturbed show is going to get down with the sickness. Every single Metallica show outside of M72, but every stop on their tour is going to get Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
Slipknot, every show is getting Wait and Bleed or something like that, right? So, yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool for sort of the deep cuts or the B-side tracks, right, that you don't hear that often, to get some love live.
Yeah.
You don't get to see those, like you're saying.
You don't, yeah. And I know we've been to a lot of shows where we say, you know, oh, I really wanted to hear this song, but they don't play that live, so I don't get it. Like every once in a while, Metallica, you do get one of those like deep cuts at one of their shows, depending on, you know, where they are or what set list you get. But it's like one song.
You have like they have a slot where it's like one or two songs, like one song per night. With the M72, it's one per night. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, you get like one slot for the deep cuts or the stuff that you don't often play.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I would like. So I like the idea a lot. I really do, of hearing stuff that you never really get to see live or hear live. But at the same time, how many fans are going to pay to go see that? You know, I don't think you're going to sell out an arena.
You would get your deepest fans, though.
You will get you will. It has to be like a one-off show. I don't think you can do an entire tour like that. But it would be really fun to see.
Like, I guess you kind of get it sometimes when bands do like anniversary tours.
Yep.
Because then you get sometimes like an album in full, or like we're gonna play songs from our first 3 albums, or you know whatever the case is, and so you do sometimes get to hear those early songs, or like the songs that aren't played at normal or their normal set list at concerts and stuff. So those are kind of cool to see.
The anniversary shows are really good, because that's where you see a lot of this, where it's the 20th anniversary of X album, and we're gonna play it in its entirety. Shadows Fall is doing that for their album, their 20th anniversary of one of their albums. Can't remember what the War Within, I think, is what it is. And Brian posted on Instagram like, "Hey, we're getting prepped. We're practicing these songs. We got our anniversary show coming up. Can't wait." Not gonna lie, I struggled with the lyrics on some of these. I kind of forgot what the fuck I wrote way back when. But we're working on it. It's gonna be awesome. Gonna hear these songs that we never really ever gonna play live. I think one of them they've only played like a couple of times, if ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of fun for those anniversary shows. I do hate we're gonna play our album in the entirety, because it sort of structures the show, and you kind of know what's gonna happen. I like not knowing. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good time to hear certain songs that you probably can't.
Yeah. Like I was thinking when we went to Metallica at the 40th, you know, you do get that like opportunity to hear songs that aren't played that often. But even with that, it almost seemed like that they were choosing songs off of their albums that are like they play at every show. So I mean, like it would have been really cool during that if they would have chose, you know, a B-side song or something like that.
Yeah, and it's like the anniversary shows, the special one-off shows, where it's like we're doing All Within My Hands is another example of that for Metallica, right? Where they're doing, this is a one-off show. It's a very special show we're gonna do. Let's play acoustic songs. So we don't play acoustic, so let's try this shit out and see how it goes.
Yeah.
On the boat, I don't know if you remember this. On the Lamb of God boat in 2023, we stopped in to listen to the Jamie Josta podcast.
Yes. Yep.
And he was talking to Brian from, I believe it's Brian from.
Mastodon.
Mastodon, their drummer, yeah. And asked him, like, you guys, this is kind of fun, right? These kind of boat tours, these boat shows, right? We're on a cruise, because you can have fun with the set list. You can play shit you typically don't get to do and whatnot. And he's like, yeah, it's awesome. We've been fucking around with the set list and whatnot. And it seems like everybody on the boat was, let's just throw this random ass thing in here we've never played.
Yeah, it makes sense on like something like that, like on the boat, because they had like 2 or 3 sets depending on the band. Things got kind of messed up on that cruise, but they were supposed to, I think everybody was supposed to have 3 sets, but whatever, things happen. So yeah, like you can just mess around with it and throw a song here or there into the set list or whatever that you haven't played.
You don't want the same thing every single night, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, not everybody sees every show, but like we saw every Shadows Fall show. It just worked out that way that we saw them all. But in both Lamb of God shows, which Lamb of God was really fun because they played Ashes of the Wake in its entirety, and some of the songs you don't ever hear. Yeah. Ever. Like I think even one they said we've never played this live. Yep. So I don't know. It's really cool to see, like that's one positive of the album in its entirety shows, because you do get that those songs that aren't always played.
But at the same time, when you go to a show, like I said, Master of Puppets, I like that song a lot. I do. I feel like I've heard it overplayed though.
Yeah.
Because it's the song you always hear. So if I go to see a Metallica show and I don't get that live, am I going to be upset?
Exactly.
So that's where I'm torn, where it's like, I do love this concept of the deep cut only show type thing. I think that'd be a blast.
I think it'd be really fun, especially if they do like a small city tour or something, and be able to see something like that where they do the deep cuts only.
Yeah. And like
but it'd be interesting with Lamb of God. They won't open to Memento Mori. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't for the Ash of the Wake.
Yeah, and we're at time, but
yeah. But one last thing, you brought up the whole the new album comes out, we got to tour with this thing.
Yeah,
that's sort of a way you're going to hear songs, because you'll hear. I keep thinking of Avatar Country.
We saw that. Yeah,
you heard a lot of Avatar Country songs, but because it's not very popular, you don't really hear those as much anymore. You hear like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But that is a good reason to go see bands multiple times, especially when the new album comes out. Because you're going to hear stuff that you probably won't ever hear again.
Yeah. Sorry, now we're going to go way over time because you brought up Avatar. In 2021, they did the Aegis tour online. They streamed it.
Yep.
And so each section was like kind of part of their career. And one of the nights or one of the weekends was from their first 3 albums, I think, which you don't hear any of those songs at their concerts now. No. And it's so much different than the music that they play now.
I remember...
I think we got one song one time at one show from one of those albums.
Yeah, I remember just listening to the Spotify on Shuffle, and Queen of Blades came on, and I heard this and I was like, who the fuck is this? This is awesome. I love this song. I was like, wait, this is Avatar?
Yeah.
Holy shit, this is awesome.
It's so different than their new stuff.
And you're not going to see that live right now.
No.
Maybe down the road we'll get lucky and they'll do shit like that, but right now it's
Black
Waltz on.
Oh, it'd be so awesome if Avatar played their first 3 albums.
Anyway,
sorry.
Fun topic, fun thought. I would love to see a show like this for sure. But in any case, just go see live music. You never know what you're going to get.
Exactly.
And sometimes you'll get something you'll never hear again, or something that's never been heard live. So go see some live music.
Yep. Bye.